All right, we are back with part 3 of our graph mapping and portraiture assignment. In the first part, we talked about how to create a coordinate map and to get our outlines in using positive and negative space drawing. In the second part, we started talking about how to start shading our highlight areas and our shadow areas and then getting our values in between. So I've been working on this one here, and we've got a pretty decent shading on here. I could go back and get some other things done with this yet as far as small detail, but what I want to talk to you about today is hair. On this one here, we have a lot of facial hair, and it's a really wiry facial hair, so we're going to have to use a lot of those type of marks to get this texture to look right. When we look at this example, we see that on the top of the head, it's a little bit darker, and as it comes down the side here, it starts to get lighter, and on the inside of the hair, it's darker than on the outside. So we're going to start to recreate this using layered marks, because hair is a layer upon layer kind of thing. So that's how we're going to have to build it up on the drawing. So let's go back and let's take another look at this one. We're going to start with our regular pencil, and our mark making is going to be very important. We don't want to go straight up and down. If we have a mark that starts to go at an angle like this, and we see where this starts to come out at the chin like this, it comes down from the bottom of the lip onto the chin. So we're just going to start to build up some marks in here, moving in the same direction as the hair. Now we've got areas in here that are darker than others, so I'm going to saturate those areas with marks a little bit more. You're not going to get all this in one layer. You're just going to have to build it up, and then you have to start putting your lighter and darker areas in. We can always come back in and subtractively pull out again. I have my blender here, which I won't use much for hair because I want those marks to stay very textural. But I'll be using this guy quite a bit in the process as well. Now, if I was working this off the top of the head, it would be the same thing, but I would start, let's go back to this example again here. I would start at the part and start to bring these things down. I'm going to come in with my eraser and I'm going to start to look at some of my lighter areas. And I'm going to start to draw with it as well. You can see how we're starting to get a nice variation in here. We just got to keep going. You can see how all these marks are starting to build up now to kind of create a hair effect to where we're seeing layers in there just like we do in real life. Excuse me. Now, before I get too much further into this, I'm going to switch over to my white pencil because I want to have white layers in there too. I don't want it to just be all over the top. Now I'm going to switch back to my eraser here again and start to pull out some white marks. All right, switching back to dark again. Now with charcoal, this white highlighter will work a lot better. We're probably going to have to do a little bit more subtractive work with our eraser than we are with our white highlighter because the pencil's a little bit slicker than charcoal is, and it doesn't really want to layer up a whole lot of depth that we can see with those light marks. Switch back to my eraser again here. do the same kind of thing with the eyebrows up here. Got a little distracted on the face there again. Now I'm going to really start to push my darker areas here because we're starting to get a nice layer here. I know it looks like I'm going over the same areas over and over, but I kind of am trying to get all those layers of hair in there to make that make sense. All right, as usual, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll put it up as an example, but that's a pretty good idea how you start to build all this up. I've got some other work here to do as far as getting all the marks that I want in here to get my light and dark areas the way I want and to get the textural elements the way I want. But this is the general idea of how to start building up that value. I'm gonna come in again with the eraser. You can see how we're really starting to get a nice variety in there, starting to build those marks up. Let's see what we can get out of this white pencil one more time here. Oh, it's gonna break on me. All right, folks. We're just going to keep building up like that till we get what we want, but that's how you're going to do hair. If you have any questions, you know what to do.